We don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our habits. And this is something that took me many, many years to realise. In my own life, I had these big dreams, these big goals of where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do. But I never really took any action towards those goals. My habits, my baseline in my life just wasn't there. It wasn't giving me the foundations and the building blocks to go forward. For example, I, for a long while, wanted to be able to bench press 100 kilos in the gym. And I had this dream, this goal of being able to do that. But it took me several years to get to the point where I was actually working out consistently enough and on a program designed well enough that I was making progress towards that goal day after day after day. And that can be very true with many areas of our lives, whether we want to escape from burnout and anxiety and depression. And we just feel that we have this dream, this vision of where we want to be, how we want to be, but we don't really know how to get there. And we also don't know kind of how to build this habit baseline, this consistency that will get us there. I think we all appreciate someone who, perhaps an athlete who has risen to the top of their field, and we know that they train for 8 hours a day at least and are really, really focused in. They have such good habits for their diet and their training, their recovery and rest as well. And their life is so well set up and systematized that it's almost effortless for them to kind of be as good as they are. They've got this baseline, this system that's working so well for them that they just wake up every day, they know what they need to do, and they roll out of bed and do it. And it took me a really, really long while to really understand that. And you are probably in a similar position too. You know that your habits make up your life. What you do day after day after day is going to compound over time and result in the person that you are, or the person that you become. If you were to say, okay, I'm going to take someone, they're very, very average, an average Joe or Jane, whatever, and I'm going to give this person for 2 years, let's say 2 years, they are going to eat a diet of McDonald's exclusively, nothing else. All you can have to eat is McDonald's for 2 years. What do you think would happen to Joe or Jane after that 2 year period? Do you think they would still be their average self, their average size? Or do you think they would be quite obese and overweight, probably quite unhealthy? And I also think it would probably have had an impact on their mental health as well, because they'd made a habit of eating the wrong food, this junk food. That's not to say that junk food is all bad and that you can't have it from time to time, but if it's your habit to eat that day after day after day, we were not surprised when 2 years down the line, Joe and Jane are 300 pounds, grossly overweight, and struggle to get up a flight of stairs. And the same is very true for our lives as well. If we're doing certain things every day, like scrolling social media, watching Netflix, etc., those hours that we spend in those practices are going to compound over time, and we can start to form addictions to these things as well. For me, I think the wake-up call with my phone was realising that it probably hadn't gone for, it'd been several years that I'd gone without having a day off from my phone. Any other habit or addiction, if you thought, there's something that I'm doing every single day and I just, I have to do that thing, I have to look at my YouTube, or I have to scroll on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or whatever your social media of choice is, and you can't break out of that. You feel locked to your phone, glued to it. It's almost like you feel naked if your phone isn't in your pocket or in your bag. And that really hit me, and I realised that, okay, I need to make space in my life to detach from my phone. I need to reduce my screen time. And I took action by deleting a lot of social media apps off my phone, and also trying to implement at least once a month, I will take a day where I just don't use my phone. It's turned off in a drawer, and it gives me some space again. It gives me that breathing space, and I don't feel like I'm sucked into it as I used to be. That's not to say that I don't slip up now and again, and none of us are perfect, but that action of trying to build a habit of disengaging with my phone has really helped me, because I saw what the addiction to my phone was doing. It was sucking so many hours out of my life that I then didn't have time, space and energy to do the things that really mattered. And so if you're in this position where you find yourself with these big dreams, these big goals that you want to believe that you can achieve, and I do believe that you can achieve them, but I just think that you need to set up the foundation of your life, your habits, the things that you do daily, in a way that will enable you to reach that goal. You want to set up your life so that 2 or 3 years from now, your habits are not going to leave you where Joe and Jane were at 300 pounds overweight from eating McDonald's every day. But you want to implement habits perhaps on the other end of the spectrum, where instead of eating McDonald's every day, they had a healthy, well-balanced diet and were encouraged to exercise. And you think if you go from average and you spend 2 or 3 years doing that thing, you could either end up over here at 300 pounds, or you could end up over here with a really good physique, a very healthy body, and feeling really, really good and well in yourself. And so we want to manipulate our habits and build habits that are going to lead us to this point, not to the 300 pound overweight McDonald's eaters. And I think that, to me, really comes down to just simplifying what you do in your day-to-day life. Again, this is something that I really struggled with for a long while, and it took me a long while to comprehend. I believe it was Da Vinci who said that simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. And when it comes to building habits, I find this to be very true. For a long while, when I was trying to reach that bench press goal, I thought, okay, I need to be in the gym 6 times a week. I need to be on a bulking diet, so I need to be getting at least 3,500-4,000 calories a day. I need to be hitting 200 grams of protein. I need to be, doing these specific. I always struggle to say that word. It's a bit of a tongue twister. Specific. There we go. Trying to do these things to get me to my goal, and I would be able to achieve that for maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks at a push. But because I hadn't got that foundation of habits in place, and I tried to just put so much in and to change so much at one point, and it just didn't stick because I didn't have that foundation built. As soon as life started to get in the way a little bit, those things that I was trying to do, I lost enthusiasm. Once that motivation had gone, they just dropped out of my life. And it wasn't until I realised, okay, I don't need to be in the gym 6 times a week. In fact, I'm not going at all at the moment. So just getting in the gym 1 time a week would be better than where I am now. I don't need to be on this crazy bulking diet and hitting this level of protein, because my diet is not at that point yet. What I need to focus on perhaps is just trying to eat a little bit more each day, and that will help me to build the muscle that I need to get me to my goal. And so when I started to simplify my habits in this way, and I broke it down into just really the simplest essence of what I could do today that was going to get me to a little step further towards my goal, I actually found that I could stick to that. I could achieve it, rather than needing to change everything at once, to fix everything at once. I was able just to step forward with one small change each day, and over time, that little change that I was making compounded and soon just became what I did in my life. I could use the example of journaling recently. I've really got back into journaling the last couple of months, and I just set myself the simple task of writing 3 pages of A5 in my journal every morning, and that because it was just so simple, there was nothing else I needed to do other than to just get those pages down. I found it really easy to build that into my daily routine, and I got a lot out of it. And because it wasn't too complex, it was just a simple task I could do, I found it very easy to build that habit into my life. And I think I've only missed one day since I started doing this about 8 weeks ago. So yeah, that level of consistency really is where we want to be in life. We want to be at that place where, you know, at least like 80-90% of the time we're hitting those habits that we know are gonna get us to our goal. And so if you're in a place where you know that you need to fix your habits, you need to build this foundation, but you don't really know where to start with it. You maybe have some ideas of things that would be good to do, journaling, exercising, maybe some meditation, but you don't know how to structure it. You don't know how to apply it to your life. Then I've got a solution for you, and it's a short free ebook linked in the description. It's about 30 pages long, and it's the exact system I've used in my life and the habits that I've focused on day to day to really transform me from a place of just that frustration that I wasn't going anywhere, I wasn't making progress towards my dreams, and now to have a really solid habit foundation in my life that I don't even have to think about, and I can just wake up in the morning and I know what my ritual is in the morning to do X, Y, and Z that are going to help me towards my goal. And because they're all simple and quite easy to do, they're very achievable, and that then, because they're easy and achievable to do, you tick them off each day and you start to build that momentum. And when you have that sense of momentum in life, that go forward, and you can clearly see that you're moving to that place that you want to be, it's fantastic, and it really helps you to just feel more full and fulfilled and purposeful in life as well. So I want that for you, and I hope that the ebook in the description will get you there. So thanks ever so much for watching. If you're not subscribed, please do hit the subscribe button. It really does mean a lot, and every time I see a new subscriber on this channel, it's just it fills me with so much joy, and I really thank you for that if you're already subscribed or if you're thinking about it. So yeah, drop me a like, drop me a comment down below, and until next time, take care. I'll catch you then. God bless.